Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and today I'm going to be playing a game called Surviving the Aftermath, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a survival game, which kind of gives it away in the title, I guess. And you've probably played or seen quite a lot of similar kind of games. There's lots of these surviving aftermaths, apocalyptic events, zombie outbreaks, etc, etc. I had this game for quite a while actually. I bought it on disc and I played it through quite a number of playthroughs quite a lot of times, but not that often. And what I mean by that is when I played it for quite a lot of time, and then I've got to a point where I thought, okay, I've done a lot, I've got a huge settlement going, and then I've moved on to something else and started a new one later on. So I have played this quite a lot, but sporadically I'd say. But it's a game when I play I've enjoyed. I decided to do this review or this series. I'm not sure how long I'll do the series. It might be a couple of videos, I'm not sure. I'll see how it goes from the beginning to show you how to set up. I haven't got any of the DLC for this game. I think it's free. The reason I haven't is because I don't often buy DLCs for games, because there's so many games I've got in my PlayStation library that I've never even played or never even downloaded. I just buy them and then I'm in a sale and I never play them. These other games that I've played that I kind of like, but not enough to keep playing with DLC. And then it's a question of how much do I like the game, how often am I going to play it, and how much will the DLC really make a difference. And I quite like this game the way it is. I don't know, I've not researched whether the DLC is generally favourable or whether it's got negative reviews or whether it's going to add something amazing or not. But I've played for this enough, and I've played it not enough to know that a new DLC won't make a difference to whether I play it more. So I'm not going to spend that. I could spend that on a few games in the style of PlayStation, but that's again your choice. If you like the game a lot, you might want to run it and buy the DLC straight away. So we'll start a new game, a normal game. The prologue is, as you'd expect, you know, civilization's gone down the pan, everything's gone wrong, usual apocalyptic kind of stuff, except there's no zombies, and it's all a bit of a mess, and we've got to kind of sort it out and rebuild. So that's kind of what it's going to be. We'll keep the tutorial on because it's ages since I played this and I probably won't remember anything. You get this next lot of setups of how you want the game to be. It's like setting up your difficulty level kind of. So challenges can be expected. It's tough but never unfair, that's fine. Catastrophe is the worst past time to rebuild. I'm going to pick occasional, and the reason is normally I go for the kind of middling scenarios in this, but of all the scenarios I don't like in games, I don't mind having a hard start, I don't mind having to struggle, I don't mind having to scavenge, but I don't like the fact that once I've built up my society, or whether it's suddenly a meteor or a tidal wave or whatever it might be comes and wipes it all out. So I don't like that, so I'm going to go for very few catastrophes. You still get them because I've had it always on that and I always still get them. Plenty of fertile, we'll have balance between fertile and barren. We'll have average starting resources. We'll be tech focused on survival and efficiency. That sounds like the best focus. I don't know why you'd start a society and start with large scale production as your focus. Health and safety would be useful, but I think survival is the best. Okay, so then you get this page with your specialists, who are the people who are going to go outside your colony and do stuff. They're also in your colony where they can scavenge stuff inside your colony zone, and they can defend the colony. So they're very important. In the game in general, later on you get more. I think you can get 8 in total, but at the beginning you only have 2. And it can be quite important which ones you pick. There's a roster of the same ones, but there's quite a few that you can always get to start with. You can pick any of 2 of those. There are others that aren't in this original lineup that you get later on, and some of these ones in the original lineup never come along again. Some will, you just don't know. So you can pick whichever ones you want. They all have their own kind of qualifications. That one's a scientist, so obviously she's going to be better at science stuff, and that one's a scout, and that one's a scavenger, and that one's a scientist, and that one's a scavenger, fighter. So they all have their own different things. and I'll tell you the difference between what they do and how it affects the game, because it's quite important actually, especially early on when you've only got 2. So we'll go with there. He is a fighter, so that's his stats. Health, first thing on the bar on the left below his portrait. There's a little bio which is quite nice as well, and a little picture. Health is, how healthy he is, so that will affect not just in a fight, which is important, but also when you're doing scavenging or research missions, you can be damaged, your health can be damaged, so that's also important in those. So you have to balance off all these things. Attack, which is obviously what it is, so his attack is 20 because he's a fighter, her attack is 9 because she's a scientist, but that doesn't mean all scientists, she's a scientist and her attack is 12, so they don't all have the same stat just because one's a scientist and one's a fighter. Scavenge is what it is, it's scavenging, so he's not a scavenger, he's a fighter, so his scavenge is 50, which means he scavenges slowly, and hers is 100, hers is 150, there's one somewhere that's 200, because she's a scavenger, a really good scavenger, so they all have, even if they're a scavenger, they have different stats for scavenging, some have different stats for all the different things, they can be slightly different. So speed is how quickly you move around the map, which can be important because you might want to get away from something or get to something quickly. Research is similar to scavenge, so research is basically the same as scavenge except you're scavenging research basically. So he again is not that hot on research, she's really good on research, because they're scientists, she's not that great, she's not that great, but they're not scientists, so he's really bad, but obviously you wouldn't want to send them to do a research scavenge. So, and recovery is how quick they recover their health, so it is what it is, so there you go. And then you just pick, and you won't know from the beginning which ones, it does make more difference at the beginning which ones you pick. Later on when you have more, then you'll have more options and you won't be as worried about which one's a good fighter. If you've got 8, you can pick 2 good fighters and 2 research ones and da-da-da-da. But at the beginning it makes a difference, and you have to kind of decide what kind of beginning you want. You can't dictate whether you're going to run into gangs of marauders and have to defend your settlement from bugs and attacks. But you have to kind of decide yourself what you kind of want to do. So I always think I'm going to be more likely to be trying to get research and scavenge early on. I kind of always pick the ones I always pick because I've played this quite a few times, like I said, so I always have her because her attack is okay, her research is high, her scavenge is okay, and so she's very good on research, and research is important, and she's pretty okay on other things, so I always have her. And then the other one I pick is usually him for attack, but he's really rubbish on research and scavenge, or her because she's a scout she scouts, and she's okay on research, she's not bad on scavenge, and I think we'll pick her for this one. I mean, if you've got people that are low on attack, for example, you could have both of your specialists attack the same thing at the same time or defend the same thing at the same time, so that's the option. Then you've got this, which is just aesthetic, what you want your banner to look like and your settlement, so we can pick, I don't really want a rat, that doesn't seem in keeping. I like that blue colour, it's quite nice, but not with a rat. Skull and Bones would not be saying a very good thing about what our settlement is. It's either saying we're all going to die or we're going to be pirates and attack you, so I don't know what that's saying, but that's nice, the flame, but that would need to be on red, I think. This one looks nice, but it doesn't make any sense because we're not royal, so I'll have that random one which doesn't really actually mean anything, but it looks like it means something. Colony name, so you can pick anything you want. We'll just pick not new game, that would be funny. No, I didn't write, did it? It's a bit weird. New London, because I'm in London. And that's probably the most unoriginal colony name you've ever heard, because in all these kind of scenarios, there's something called New New Mexico or New Dallas or New Paris or New something. They're always called New something. So New London's not very original, but anyway. Colony motto can be anything you want. It makes no difference. So we will pick. Don't worry. There you go. That's a good colony motto. Don't worry. I could add be happy, but I think don't worry is enough to cover it. That's a summary of what you've done, what you've set up. So if you're not happy with anything, you might think, oh my God, I've set that up wrong and I don't like that. So that's what it is. So then you can start the game. And yeah, that's how you set up the game. I mean, it took a little bit of time because I was talking about it, but it's very simple to set up. And like I said, if you start and you find that it's something you don't like, then you can restart. And you can save at any point during this game as well, except during a battle, I think. But yeah, it's not a game where you're going to know or really be bothered by how things start. It's very unlikely that you'll start and think, oh my God, that's the wrong start, so I don't like that. Because nothing happens early on that's going to be obviously detrimental to how you set up, unless you've set up a really extreme setup where you're where you've got loads of catastrophes and you start, and I've never done that, but then you suddenly get like meteors crash down on your site before you've even started. So you've got that settlement guy, he can set up where he wants. You've got these buildings that you can set up before you start, and the reason you might want to do that before you start is because then you've already got them when people move in. So we're setting up our campsite. You have got other buildings. You get you get some free buildings. I think there's another one as well. Yeah, you get 2 tents, which you can set up. And again, set these up before you start, because then you've already got them waiting for your colonists or survivors or whatever. You get 2 free ones, so that's good. You haven't got what that means by free is you don't have to get resources to build them. So all the things you get for free, you're going to kind of want to do. So you've got a free stockpile, again the same. The things that highlight are where you're going to have resources to use it, so just bung it there, it doesn't matter. You can demolish it later if you don't want it to be there. And then what else do you get for free? I can't remember. Food storage also. We just put that there for now. You can change the game speed there. I just did it accidentally, so I just went back to put it to normal. I think that's all the free stuff you get. I can't remember. Yeah, these are a water collector, which is useful if you've got water somewhere, but we haven't got any water. Oh yeah, it's there. Okay. But that's awkward. You might have to, yeah. We'll worry about that later. So then you get this thing, you just click on that little picture of the guy when you've been at the campsite, and it will say shoot the flare to bring your people. There's no point in waiting once you've built the things you need to start, and they've got tents and things, because there's just no point. So you shoot the flare, and then they'll start appearing. You get this, also this is the main map. You press R2 and you get the overview of the whole world map. So this is our kind of sector, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, sector they call it in this. And there are we, New London, and you can see the things in our area. You've got a camping site, which is a place where you can, and all you need to know about these things, the thing at the top just tells you what it is, but it's the thing below where it tells you resources. Well, you get basic clothing, which is a scavenge, and there's 19 of basic clothing. Hazards, which would damage your scavenger, and there's none, so that's good. We've got another thing here, which is ruined apartments. You get basic tools, again no hazards, that's good. You've got a museum where you get science points, so you can go back with R2 back to your base, and there you go, we're here. It takes a little few, about 35 seconds or something for, as you saw, for it to start, and then we started. So there you go, and everyone's going to start moving around very quickly. They'll start saying things like we're hungry, we're all that kind of stuff, you know, the jazz from any of these survival kind of city building games. So first thing you might want to do is you've got your scientists, and at the moment they won't be able to go out because you'll need to, you saw that on there, there's a thing here where you build a gate, and I know this, you could theoretically walk through that, but until you build your actual gate you can't venture into the world map. But these guys can do stuff, so they can scavenge and they can things. So there's like a berry bush there, so for example, put them to work.
What's up?
So there you go, it's like that old Age of Empires thing, and they just go to the thing because there's no point in having them standing around. If there's any trouble, and by trouble I mean enemies, they can go there. And again, there's like abandoned wood just lying about, so they can go and get that. So that's all good. Then you've got these things, and what you need to do is you'll have to build various things to help your society. The first thing you'll need is water. Not the first thing, but you'll need water. So you want to plonk a well. It tells you where's good and where's bad. So obviously there it's very bad, it's red. The green is, it says, if you can see on the box on the right, it says efficiency 64, efficiency there is none. Efficiency here is 70. You'll find places that are higher, but 70 will do me for now. And the wells manage themselves. Some of the things need workers, but some don't. So there you can see our little guys are scavenging wood, but we'll need more than wood. You have to go through this and you'll work out what things you need and what things you don't. Some of the things you'll want now, an outhouse you might want, and you'll get to kind of know which things you need quickly. You won't have the resources to build the gate yet, by the way. You've already got those. A trapper would be interesting. The thing at the top, the whole bar along the top, which is all your stats, which looks a bit overwhelming at the moment, but it isn't. The first thing is where it says 11, that's how many colonists you have. 94 is your food. The big lump of blue, which is a drop of water, is how much water you've got incoming, and out is a minus 11, which is not very good. The next thing is electricity with power. We don't have any of that. The next one's wood, plastic, metal, concrete. I think it's resources like scrap, components, tools, clothes, guns, medical supplies, and logs and research at the end, and money is the 350. So they're all quite simple once you kind of get used to it. And obviously people have to build these things, so always remember the things you get at the beginning that are free. Free things are always good. So we've still got that free water collector, which is basically a thing that you put in water the right way round. And you'll get water. Sometimes it's hard to find a place to put some of these things, especially, it's not the trees, because it would overrun the trees, but it's not wanting me to put it there. Okay, we won't worry about that at the moment. We've got -2 of water, so that's not really great. So water's important. You need it if you're sick in this game, you'll need it for obviously drinking. We've got the tech tree, but we haven't got any research yet, so we can't do much with that. So we're going to build another well. First thing you want to do is basically, the first thing you want to do basically is cover your any shortages you have. If you've not got enough water or enough food, you won't let you build two wells next to each other, by the way. So you need to kind of cover anything you've not got enough of. Bearing in mind everything you build takes the resources you've already got. So we're going to build another well because we were on a deficit of water, and then we'll have a surplus. And then what you need to do, and there's always like places to store, always remember to store stuff if you're going to have too much. We've got clean water storage, which again is something we can build near that. We might want to move that later, but I'm doing this as a kind of, not going to make a whole city out of this, so it won't matter where we put things. When you do this, you probably might need to think, or you'll want to think more about where you're putting things. So you might want to, think where you're going to put roads, and you can easily do that in your head. But because I'm not going to be building a whole city out of this and doing that many turns, I'm not worrying about it other than just to plonk things down, as they say. So we've got everything kind of going along swimmingly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video because now it's just going to become a kind of building thing. So you've sort of seen how you start up, you've seen what you do at the beginning, you've seen how the game looks, and we've got our specialist. You can see at the top on that little picture with their portraits, the thing just below it where it's got the little picture of the green house, that means they're in your base. And the little scavenging crowbar thing means they're scavenging. If it had a gun, it would mean they're fighting. Okay, so we've got 5 colonists homeless, so you know what that means. We've got to build more homes. So what we're going to do is I'll end this video now. I'll probably just run up a few little things to ease quality of life in the video. So I'll just build a few things to make it simple that I've already built. And then I'll be back with a follow-up video just to show you how it's going in the next video of the series. So there you go, we've built clean water, and now we've got 10 surplus in water, which we're going to store in the storage will be over there. I think that when this game starts, it's a little bit overwhelming. I think the first time I played it, I didn't know how to even start it. But once you've done it a little bit, and if you've ever played these kind of games before, it becomes pretty simple pretty quickly. So anyway, thanks for watching Surviving the Aftermath. I'll be back next time with more Surviving the Aftermath. Until then, take care from Guessagaingaming.